back to my channel. This is kind of weird, not gonna lie. I haven't filmed like a sit down video in a while, but today I wanted to answer some questions that I got on Instagram. I did like a poll and people could like pick and then send in questions and stuff that they would like to know, because I wanted to film a life update. A lot has happened in the last few weeks and it's been kind of crazy. So I just wanted to come on here and just kind of do one video that kind of explains a lot of it for my friends and family that I may not be able to see in this time or whatever. I just wanted to be able to explain to people what is going on in my life now that the world has been turned upside down. So the first question I got was from Trinity. Hey Trinity, I'm so glad that you sent in a question. Thank you so much. And she asked what my YWAM experience was like. I could not say better things about YWAM. Literally, my experience was life-changing is the word that I describe it, even though unfortunately it was like cut in half. The 3 months that I did spend there at YWAM Perth were truly life-changing. Everybody that I met was so welcoming and encouraging and accepting, and they just have created this beautiful family culture on the base there with everybody, and it doesn't matter if you're a student or staff or leadership. Anybody there on base you can go up to and say hi and have a conversation, ask them questions, ask for prayer and advice. Literally everybody is willing to pray for you and help you in any way that you need. So my experience as a whole, obviously there was a lot that happened in 3 months, and to kind of sum that up in a few sentences is quite hard. But if you are thinking about YWAM, doing a YWAM DTS, or you've never even heard of YWAM, I highly recommend going and checking it out. And obviously I'm a little bit biased. I've only been to one YWAM base, and that was YWAM Perth, but I highly recommend looking into doing a DTS. And even though I didn't get to finish the whole thing, the part that I did complete was truly life-changing, and it is the perfect environment. Yes, it's intense, and that is the point, is so that you can grow in your relationship and grow stronger with God. And literally every day I was growing in my relationship with God, getting experience and building good spiritual habits and making lifelong friends. Literally every person that I met, I can truly say, has just been so amazing, and I was able to make so many amazing friends from all around the world too. I have friends that live in Paris, I have friends that live in the UK, I have friends that are from Austria or even the States, all across the States, in Canada, even other parts of Australia, literally all over the world. Is so amazing. So yeah, as a whole, my YWAM experience was incredible. The next question is from one of my best friends, Anna, and she was on Performing Arts DTS with me this year, and her question was, how much do you miss me? I miss you so much. You know, spending 3 months with people, living with them all day, every day, and to now be home and not wake up hearing other people's alarms or hearing other people chatting or whatever it is, people getting ready for morning workout at 6 a.m. Is kind of weird and has taken an adjustment. I remember like the first couple of days I was in my room, and I just so blessed to have a room to myself. It was kind of weird, and we were right in the middle of moving house and everything, so I was there and I kind of woke up and I was just like, it is so quiet. It was kind of weird, but I really do miss it. I miss being woken up by like 6 different alarms every day. I miss, you know, the late night chats, and I miss falling asleep in like our little afternoon free time, Anna, when we're trying to watch a movie and we're just tired and we just end up falling asleep. I miss the late night bubble tea runs. I miss just constantly having somebody just to chat with. And yeah, it's kind of weird. Like, we always just pray together, and like the minute anybody has something that they're kind of like unsure about or they're worried about, we just like immediately all pray for them. So now being home and being in kind of like lockdown and not seeing people as much, that's definitely been the hardest part. But I miss you, Anna. I miss you so much. I miss all of my team so much. You know, a lot of my team went home, some are still there, even all my friends. I miss you guys so much. You truly have brought so much joy to my life, and for that I am eternally grateful. Okay, so one of my friends that I made at DTS, his name is Jelma and he's from Holland, and he asked me, what is my life like now? So if you don't know, I am home. We are currently in our new house. Yeah, so I came home roughly 3 weeks ago, and I came home and literally the next day we started moving house. So we had our previous house for almost 10 years, and we were selling, and that was all happening while I was in Perth, and I came home right before we moved. So literally the next day we had moving trucks in, and we moved over a couple of days, and now I'm in our new house. So we're going to be renovating this house, so I'm hoping to be able to do some renovation videos. I filmed a little bit of setting up my room, but we still have to paint new floors. The whole house is being renovated, new paint, new bathrooms. We'll eventually do a new kitchen. That'll be over a bit of time. Obviously we're not gonna do it all at once, and it's kind of hard to do stuff now, but I really would love to film that. I think that would be really fun. So if you'd like to see that, let me know. But yeah, so we moved house and I finished lectures online, so they made that available. So the most amazing thing with YWAM, the YWAM DTS international office, so for everybody doing DTSs at this time, they made an exception which has never been done before. So they said if we finished our lecture phase, we would be able to fully complete our DTS without having to do an outreach phase, obviously because that's impossible to do right now. So that's what I did. I came home, finished my lecture phase. That is amazing. So I've officially graduated DTS. Finished that. It's amazing. As far as doing an outreach, obviously I still want to do an outreach, so I am just praying that I'll be able to do that in the future when this kind of all blows over. That's what I would love to do, but we'll just see how it goes. But yeah, so that's been my life. Moved to a new house, and now since finishing DTS, I've actually started a traineeship in my church. So our church has a cafe and a commercial kitchen, and they are running a traineeship at the moment, so it's a certificate one in hospitality. So I've decided to join that, and that is 6 months long. So I'm doing that, which is really cool because I'm able to earn some money, meet new people, and really just help our community. That's the most important part. So the cafe is only takeaway now, so we have moved a lot of our work now is into the kitchen, and we're able to prep and cook meals for our community, and they can come and pick it up. So people that aren't able to get groceries or just want some ready-made meals to have in the freezer or the fridge, they're able to come and pick it up, and they're only $5, which is really cool. So we do 3 different types of meals, and we switch up the recipes every 2 weeks or something. So that's really cool. And we also made yesterday, it was actually really cool for Easter. Obviously I'm filming this on Easter, which is kind of weird, but we made hot cross buns as well, freshly made from scratch hot cross buns that we're going to be delivering out to people in our community, dropping it at their doors, saying a quick hello, wishing them all the best, and praying for them if they want to be prayed for. But yeah, most importantly, just delivering them and just being a light in this time. So I'm really excited to be joining that traineeship. So that's roughly 6 months. So that's really cool. And then what else am I doing? Oh yeah, also in my church, I'm come back and really helping out with a lot of social media stuff. So obviously our church has had to move online, and it's actually been really fun. So I've been working with my dad, and we're doing the church services online. So I'm running all of that behind the scenes stuff. That's been really fun, and I've really been enjoying that a lot. And hopefully in this time I get to do more of these videos and just sharing more of my experience and what's going on in our life. Yeah, and just really being a light and a place where people can come and just have fun and learn and be creative and be inspired to be creative. That's what I really want to do in this time. So as far as what I'm doing now, that is what I'm doing now since finishing DTS. Okay, so one of my beautiful friends, Rachel, I was friends with her for almost a year before I went on DTS, and she is currently back in the States, but she was here in where I live, doing mission work and stuff with Pace Australia. I love Pace and I love Rachel. So she asked me, how have I been processing the abrupt ending, and what has the Lord been teaching me in this new season? Alright, so I'm going to answer the first part first biggest things that I started doing was actually reading this book that my mum gave me. I'm going to put a picture up on the screen. I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head, but it's a YWAM book, and it's all about transitioning from life on the mission field back into normal life. And obviously, like, with such uncertain circumstances, we've never experienced something like this before, where people have had to leave and outreach hasn't been happening. So it's been really helpful to kind of process all the changes that happened so fast. So really for me, like, we went on a group camping trip, which I posted a video about. Literally we got back from that, and that was when the world kind of started going really crazy. So we were away and like didn't really think anything was happening, and we got back and it was just like, oh, what's happening? Obviously I was praying a lot about coming home, and I really felt to stay for quite a long time, and then things were just ramping up really quickly, and I was just talking with my dad, and we were all praying about what was the best decision for me and what did God want me to do. And when I was talking with him, I just felt, for the first time, I felt a little bit of peace when I was just talking to him about coming home. So that's how I decided to come home, and dealing with that abrupt change, literally from that point, it was like 2 days before I left Perth. So I booked my flights that day and I left 2 days later. So processing that was quite difficult, and I definitely have really good times where great stuff is happening here and I'm so happy to be a part of that. But then I also have really sad times, and one of the biggest things I found, talking with like my leaders and with my parents, is that we actually have to go through a time of grieving and go through the stages of grieving, because things ended so fast, and obviously we were planning to do things and now they're not happening. So going through that, there's actually a process of grieving and leaving all of my friends and the relationships and friendships that I made. So yeah, just going through that is how I'm dealing with it, and just not being afraid to say, hey, yeah, I feel really sad today. Just being honest about how I'm feeling is really important, especially with my family, and they've helped me so much. My parents have been amazing, and sometimes, I just chat with my mom and just kind of tell her how I'm feeling and just letting out what is in my head. I found that I'm quite a verbal processor, so just being able to talk about it has been really helpful for me. I think as well, just making sure that I'm keeping myself busy and just not moping around by myself in my room. That was one of the most important things that my parents felt as well, which is why they lined up a few different opportunities for me to come back to, so that it's not to get busy and neglect my feelings, but it's being able to process that and continue working out all of the things that I learned while I was in Perth, and yeah, just like getting going again, and working and being able to help our community, I think has been a really big part in my healing process, and as far as like processing all of this in general. So yeah, those are just a few things that I've been doing to help process. Obviously praying a lot, and I found journaling really helps as well. Just journaling out my feelings and praying it out to God, and I find once I do that, I feel so much better. Yeah, and just being honest, like everybody at this time is feeling unsettled because everything is so uncertain at this time. So just knowing that like everybody is feeling like this right now, everybody is having so much change. It's not just me, and everybody is experiencing some type of change. So yeah, just knowing that has been really helpful as well. And the second part of this question, what is the Lord teaching me in this new season? Well, going into this week, I just started my traineeship this week. I was really praying about God, why did you call me home? Why did you want me to do this traineeship? And what, even more so than that, what do you want to do in this time? And as I was just praying about it, I just really felt like, I was like, God, what is this time supposed to be? Like, I just don't understand, God. Everything was so good. Why did it have to stop? That's been one of the biggest things I've been processing. But yeah, I was just like asking God, why this season? What do you want to be doing now? And I just kind of heard these words in my head. He was just like, it's going to be a very humbling time. And I was just like, oh no. So as far as what God is doing, that's like the first thing, I guess, which I felt like he said is it's just a time to really humble myself and just offer myself to him and say, God, just use me however you want me to. And that's something that I really want to do. I'm just like, God, here's my life. I want you to use it. I don't really care how. I know that, you know, your plans are so much bigger than mine and will be way more satisfying and fulfilling than anything I could ever plan. So here's my life. Do with it what you want. Let's have some fun. And, you know, at the beginning of this year, one of the I guess like goals, but I guess God was kind of putting that on my heart as well, that this year was going to be an adventure. And boy, has it been an adventure. So yeah, this is just another part in the journey. And one of the other things I've really been learning about, especially through DTS and even into now, was the topic of wisdom. And that was really coming up a lot in our quiet times and in our lectures. As far as for me personally, really pursuing wisdom and understanding what that is, and how we can ask for wisdom and understanding follows. And even like about Solomon, you know, when he was praying to God and God said, what do you want? He actually asked for discernment, and discernment is a part of wisdom, and just understanding all that kind of thing and learning about it and then asking and receiving that by faith. And I feel like God is really going to grow me in wisdom and discernment and everything that is all about, and even how that's linked in with fear of the Lord. That was like a big topic that I just kind of thought you could never define. I didn't really understand it. And we had a week in DTS about fear of the Lord, and literally within the first 5 minutes, our speaker, Caleb Brownhill, he just like defined it in like the first 5 minutes, and I was just like, oh, that was so much easier than what I thought. And fear of the Lord is having a deep reverence and respect for God and hating sin, because God hates sin, so hating what God hates, that is fear of the Lord. And fear of the Lord is really, really closely linked with wisdom. And so yeah, just understanding that and how to grow in that and allowing God to grow me in that. That is what he's teaching me right now that I can see. I'm sure that there's more, and I'm sure that more will come. But yeah, that's what he's teaching me right now. Okay, so the last question I'm going to answer today was actually asked by quite a few people. So Trinity asked this question, Sarah asked this question. Hi Sarah, I'm so excited that you're pregnant, and I literally screamed when I found out, and I was like, guys, my friend's pregnant. It's so exciting. I'm so happy for you. And also Micah and Andy, they all kind of asked questions around like, what was I planning to do before, but more importantly, like, what are my plans now? I feel like that's what everybody wants to know. And to be completely honest with you, I don't know. Completely being honest, I don't know. Before the whole like coronavirus happened, I planned to come home for a few months, hopefully get a job, work, save, and really just seek God about what he wanted me to do. And I really felt strongly that one of my options that I was praying through was going back to Perth and maybe doing further study or joining staff or doing something along those lines. I was praying about going to a YWAM base in Germany, or even just like doing a Disney internship. I was praying about doing camp counseling in a Christian summer camp. I was praying through a lot of different options, and I really just wanted to dream and let my mind go and be like, God, like, what do you want me to do? And so I was praying through all of that, and I felt like God was really speaking about one in particular. And then obviously with this virus and things happening and changing, right now what that original plan was probably won't happen just because of the timing, and we just don't know how long this virus will last and what the long like implications and effects of it will be. So I guess I kind of had something in mind that I really wanted to pray through more, but I felt like God gave me an answer, and so I was kind of holding on to that. And then since all this happening, I feel like that has changed, and now I'm just not sure. And one of the biggest things coming home, like when I first started coming home, I was still praying through, God, you said this, like, why is that changing? Is that something you still want me to do? And I really just felt in my heart, and even just talking with my mum about it, is like, I just need to like chill about praying about it for a bit, because I was so persistent in praying and so like, God, I need an answer, God, I need an answer. And really right now I just need to trust that he will provide for me in this season, and I know that he'll provide for the rest of my life. So as far as like what I'm gonna do after this current traineeship I'm on, I have no idea. I have lots of ideas of what I could do, but I really just felt in my heart that I just need to get through this 6 months, get through this season of the virus, however long that lasts, because realistically it could be like 3 months, it could be 6 months, it could be a year. We have no idea how long the effects of this will go on. And our world is gonna look very different at the end of it, I believe. And so I feel like for me, praying about something, if God did give me an answer and that were to change, that's just disheartening myself, really. So I know that God has promised things for me, and I know that he's promised me an amazing future and an amazing ministry, and so I'm just holding to that, and I'm just giving it a little bit of a rest and just allowing God to grow me in this season. And once like the traineeship is over, and we'll just see what the world looks like then, and then I'll pray about it then and be praying with my parents about what the next step is for me. And one of the biggest things I learned on DTS was from Father Heart Week, and we had Eleni, and he's one of the leaders on base, and he leads an awesome ministry. Eleni is so amazing, literally, I love him so much. He's like a dad, love him. And one of the biggest things he said to me was, Kristen, just do the next thing that God asks you to do. I think because I get so caught up in, God, what's the end picture? What's my big life picture? God, why aren't you giving it to me? And realistically, a lot of people don't really get that. Like sometimes we get little glimpses, but he's never going to show us the whole picture, because then we wouldn't need to have faith and trust in him. So Eleni was just like, Kristen, just do the next thing that God tells you to do, and just take one step at a time. And so that's what I'm trying to do. So as far as like, what are my plans to do now? What are my plans to do next? I'm not sure, but I have lots of really cool options, and I'm going to be praying through those at a later stage. So yeah, I hope that was helpful as far as like updating you on where I'm at in life and what I'm doing now. I just really pray that you all stay safe, and I pray that this time can be a time where you can really grow close with God as well, and really enter into a deep relationship with him, because he wants to be your support, he wants to be your provider, he wants to be that consistent person in your life. You know, through everything and through the world changing literally by the day, God is the only thing that stays consistent. He is everlasting, and that means one of the biggest things I learned is that because God is everlasting, he never ends, and he's always there, he's always the same, as it means that everything that he stands for is everlasting too. So that means he has this unending grace for us that will never end. His love for us will never end, and he's constantly pursuing us because he wants a relationship with you, and he wants to be your father, and he wants to be your best friend. He wants to be whatever you need him to be. And yeah, so I just pray that this time can be a time where we can really unify with our families and those that live in our household. And if you have any questions or need prayer or just want someone to chat to, please reach out to me on my Instagram. I would love to chat with you or give you a call or a FaceTime and be someone that you can chat to, because I know that in my life I really, really appreciate the people that I can just kind of confide in and chat about things with. So yeah, if you want a friend, if you want someone to be an ear to listen, or you want someone to pray for you, please reach out to me on Instagram. It's my username's in the description box below, and I would love to connect with you. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in my next video. Have a great Easter, and yeah, stay safe. Have a blessed weekend. Bye.